everybody and welcome back. I'm Jem, this is my creative space. I'm back from holiday and as you can see, as you can hear, full of beans. I've had 2 weeks of not doing very much at all, so full of enthusiasm, full of ideas. Anyway, this is just a really short video today. It's a kind of getting back into it video, and it's how did the journal go, if you've been following the making of the journal to take on holiday, and also a couple of things to show you and a bit of what's coming next. We're right near the end of May now, so new month and new things coming up, so I'll tell you a little bit about those in a moment. I'm just going to flick a light on here. Is that better? Does reflect on there. Never mind. Okay, so the journal. It's going really well and I really enjoyed using it. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the other videos, this journal was made completely of junk, if you like, or upcycled things. So here we have some upcycled wrapping paper. It was made from a cereal packaging, and everything in it has had a life of previous life and could potentially be thrown away. So for example, again, we have wrapping paper here, we have some packaging. This was a birthday card. All right, so how did it go? Well, as you can see, I used this to list actually where we went and what days, because I generally keep a bit of a journal when we're on holiday, and I do like a travel journal, and it becomes a bit of a record of holiday as well. Now, I haven't been home long enough to print photos and stick in yet, so you will see there are some pages that still have space for photos, but I just wanted to show you. And I had left a lot of these pages blank because, as you will see, I love to journal when we're on holiday. But I just want to talk briefly about found things. Look at this. This, can you believe, was a beer can label. Let me just see, because I had a couple of others. Now they're here somewhere. I'll find them. Hang on. Here we go. Mr. Jem thought this was a wonderful excuse for buying these beers. Well, that's what he told me anyway. These labels actually peeled off the beer cans. And so once he'd finished drinking them, I peeled them off and just stuck them onto some like greaseproof kitchen paper. And I've been using these in my journals. I just wanted to show you those briefly, just to show you that, you know, there's the weirdest places you can come up with some great stuff for journals. So where were we? Oh yeah, so there you go. You can see there was 2 in each pack. So I used that. So you see, as I say, there's space for photos. I've used the back of the journaling cards for little things. My little belly band here. This was an exhibition, textile exhibition that we went to, and I turned the back of it into a journaling card, just talking about the exhibition, some of the ideas I got from it. And again, this was off the box. The same pack of beer had a great little thing on the box. More space for photos. And again, that's one of the other beer cans. We've got maps of the campsite we stayed in. A little more journaling space. And then again, these flip outs. I've got some writing, some space for a couple of photos. And this one, because it was book related, what was I reading? What was I listening to on holiday? Because I listen to a lot of audiobooks as well as reading. Tuck spot there. We've got we went to Pukekura Park, which if you're in New Zealand, it's in the Taranaki area, which is where we were staying. Absolutely beautiful park that you could walk through. Oh, a menu from a restaurant. And my little bag here worked really well. This was my feathers just stuck in there, but this was my little bag that I folded down, and I've got in here a leaf from the park, because we're in autumn here now, and there's just the most beautiful colours, And this is a little bit of dried, I don't know whether you'd describe it as seaweed or sea lichen. Anyway, it was a pretty colour, and a probably seagull feather. Just little mementos, more space for photos. These, I have to show you, there's 2 of these, and these were created from a chocolate wrapper, and this was the packaging. What was it? I bought a bar of soap. Yeah. So, you know, even when you're away, you can create little things like this. Now this one, this was a picture from a tourist brochure, and I've created a little, oh, now, there we go, a little flip down. Now this green packaging was, we bought a new frying pan for our caravan, and the packaging was from that. Now these flip downs I'm going to show you in a couple of weeks' time. So the packaging was actually a little bit too thick for them, but we'll come back to that. Again, little tuck spot with I think that was from one of the other campsites, and that was as far as I got actually. We were only away for a couple of weeks, and we had the most beautiful weather, I have to say. We feel so blessed. We've had a shocking summer here in New Zealand, but the 2 weeks that we were away, we had beautiful sunshine, we had summer temperatures, we were camping by the beach, and really, we haven't done a lot, which has been good. Anyway, look, there's loads more space in here. I am going to print some photos this week and pop them in and finish this bit off. But there's loads more space. We're heading away again in July. And so what I'm going to do is to keep the rest of this journal and follow the same principles. And I will find a photo to put in here. And finish it off in July. So it's going to be our 2026 holiday book. There you go. But thinking about the idea of creating just with junk, which is what this project was about, I really, really enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed filling it with found things as well. And it's definitely something I'd do again. I'd like to explore this concept more. So yeah, so that's just a little wrap up for those of you who were following that journal and its progress. Couple of other things. Now, going away to a different area, what do? Well, you visit the op shops, of course. Look at this. And I just wanted to have a really quick show you of some bits and pieces that I found whilst we were away. Embossing pad, which is still really sticky, for stamping and embossing. Some more of this. Funnily enough, I found some of this a little while ago in an op shop, but I bought a natural colour, and I've actually used most of it. So when I saw this, I grabbed this. This is obviously a bleached colour, but really great in junk journals. Paper clips. Look, just why buy new when you can upcycle stuff from the op shop? And this has got some lovely coloured ones in, and was $1. These I thought were a bit of a find. These are magnets. And funnily enough, I had just bought some of these, but I bought much smaller ones. So I thought they would be really useful. Now look at this piece of gorgeous wrapping paper. It feels brand new. It's got a beautiful Ko-Fi flower and leaves on. This is one of our native trees here in New Zealand. And, you know, you can't go wrong with that, can you? So that is likely to become a journal cover at some stage, just because I love those flowers. Now, I've already got some of these. These were some little coasters produced by Bell Tea to make of tea bags. And I suddenly saw these, and look, these are wonderful old photos. And I've already, as I say, I've already got some of these, and these are some different ones as well. And one of the things I thought I might do with these is actually, because they're quite thick as they are, because they're coasters, you know, they were designed for put your cup of tea on. what I might do with them is lay them out and scan them. And then I can use them, you know, more than once. But I thought, oh, the elastic band's broken. I thought they were great. And just a funny little picture. I don't know where that was. It was in one of the op shops. Again, I thought that was just too good to pass up. Oh, some stamps. These are Grace Taylor stamps. I thought these were quite nice. Have a very quick look at these. Because people often say, well, what do you look for when you're in the op shops? And I guess for me, there's two things I look for. One is consumables that are cheaper than buying new. Now, one of the reasons I love going to the op shops is, and I buy all sorts of things in op shops, not just craft things, is that it is a form of upcycling or recycling. You know, as I say, why buy something new when you can give something secondhand a new life, you know? I think we generate so much in this world today that, you know, that we don't need to, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I'm not going to get on that bandwagon. What do I look for? Two things. I look for consumables. So things like paper, magnets, ribbon, things like that, that I can use that would be cheaper to buy secondhand than they would new. Or I can't get new, you know, like these tea coasters, they are coasters, aren't they? The coasters, you can't buy those now. They came in tea bag boxes some years ago, probably. They don't actually have a date on. And they were collectibles. So something like that you can't buy now. And the other thing I look for is what I would call tools. And in that I class stamps, rulers, scissors, pliers, brayers, staplers, die cuts, you know, anything like that you can use again and again. And again, I will look and see, one, is it something I am actually going to use? Because there's no point buying a nice set of stamps if it's something that's not within your interest field, you know. So is it something I'm interested in? Am I going to use it? And is it cheaper than I can buy it? Because sometimes now I've noticed the prices here in the op shops are going up a bit. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to be a bit careful because sometimes you can buy new things just as cheaply. Anyway, that's the sort of things I look for. So this was it was $3. Lovely set of stamps, multiple uses. Have a lot of hunters in the family, including Mr. Jem. So you know the deer, very prominent in New Zealand, and the others are sort of multiple use, multiple interest stamps. All right, and Grace Taylor, it's a make I've had before. They tend to last well. I don't know whether they're a New Zealand make. I don't think so. Anyway, that's those. Now another one, I haven't opened this yet, so we'll open that in a minute. It's a little square 2-inch stamp. And from reading the back, it seemed to have a multitude of uses. So anyway, I'll open that and have a play with it, and I'll show you another day. All right, a bit more consumables, some little toppers, some nice wooden frames, some butterfly stickers, and there's a couple gone because I actually used a couple for something whilst I was away. A couple of pads of paper, little 6x6 papers. Again, I have used a couple of these whilst I was away for something. I actually needed to create my son-in-law a birthday card whilst we were away. This was a Christmas one, but there's some really cool bits and pieces in there. That's the one, actually. There was another 3 or 4 pieces in there that I have used already. Okay, they were a couple of dollars each, Rosie's Studio, very popular make here. Now, I wasn't absolutely sure what this was, and but I've had a look since I bought it, and this was $5, which for me is quite a lot for an op shop item, but I had figured that there was 2 in here. And what you do with these, if I put something light coloured underneath, you might see that. You put this on your card and you cut in these lines. Okay. So you cut those lines and then you can emboss if you want to through the designs. And what happens is that, can you see this? You get this, you can make like a revolving card, or a card that turns. And again, when I tell you what's coming up in my next few videos, you'll see the connection why I bought these. And there was 2 in the pack. They're made of metal, so they're going to last. This one's an oval one, so if I do this, you see it's sort of, your card's going to turn like this. And I'm working on some projects for using these in junk journals as well as cards. So that's a watch this space thing. Okay. What's the white I pulled out? Oh, just a pack of vellum. Here we go. So there was just some white bits in there, but there was also these wonderful coloured bits. Look at these. Okay, so some vellum to play with. And again, I used a little bit whilst we were away. Oh yeah, a ledger book. Cool. And, oh, a couple more things. This, it looks from the label like it's come from Temu or Shein, one of those sites. But when I had a quick look in the shop, it looks like, it's not silicone, but it looks like it would make a really good mat for when I'm gluing and things like that. It's sort of washable. It's reasonably strong. I don't think you could cut on this one, but I'm very aware that my desk often looks a real mess with bits of paper and blah blah blah, and I do have a huge cutting mat on my desk, but because I'm quite messy, it's got paint and gesso and all sorts of things over it and doesn't make a very good background when I'm filming. So I wondered whether that might make a better background and enable you to see things better. And for $1, I thought, yeah, I can go with that. Right, so there's a few things. Oh, and this was a big pack of, well, it says cutting mats. And I've got to be honest, there's 5 of them, and I've left one in our caravan. So one was missing, so there was 4. Yeah, and I've left one in our caravan as a chopping board, because obviously being thin, it doesn't take up any room in the cupboard. But I've brought these 3 home, and again, I thought they were going to be really good mats when I'm working, that are going to look a bit better than my scruffy paper and help you to see what I'm doing better. So those might well make an appearance at some stage. Okay, last but not least, Mr. Jem and I were both quite excited about this for different reasons. We found this stamp album, and there's a date in the front of 1959. In fact, it's Christmas Day 1959. And look at this. Now, this New Zealand page, they've all just been stuck on. So if I want to get those off, I will gently soak the page in some warm water and peel them off. A lot of the others have been put in properly with stamp hinges. There is so many stamps in here. Now, you will understand my excitement about these. Mr. Jem's excitement was a little bit different in that he wants to go through this before I start using them, because he thinks that some of them are probably quite collectible because they're quite old. And interestingly, when we took this up to the counter in the op shop to purchase it, the lady behind the counter said, "Oh, I'm glad someone's buying that. That was mine." And she had collected these stamps from being a little girl. Now here, I grew up in England and I recognise some of these as they are actually quite old. So Mr. Jem has been tasked with going through and telling me what I can use and what I can't. But there's some wonderful ones. Look at these, Czechoslovakia. You wonder where she's got all these from. But anyway, she was telling us that she collected these. And these actually are more familiar to me as when I was a child. And that's a long time ago now. These were in use on envelopes and things. That's a Scottish one, actually. Yeah, there's a postmark there that says 1975. Yeah, so I would have been a small child. Yeah, so anyway, there we go. So lots and lots of beautiful stamps. Once I find out which ones I can use, of course. But anyway, yes, so this lady was telling us she collected them as from being a child, and she just really wanted them to go to someone who would appreciate them. And as I say, for different reasons, Mr. Jem and I will both appreciate these. Look at these beautiful Papua New Guinea ones. So lots and lots of inspiration there. Some great, look at this, medieval knights on horses from Portugal. And some lovely ones from Samoa as well. They look quite old. Anyway, there you go. So those were our op shop finds these weeks. The other thing I had a chance to do was go to a couple of sort of more because we live very remote and rurally, we don't get chance to go to a lot of stores, and our local town doesn't actually have an amazing amount of craft supplies. We're a bit limited. So I managed to get into we have a big store called Spotlight, which I believe is in Australia as well, and just did a bit of a, top up with the things like Mod Podge. I'm struggling at the moment to get matte gel medium. Now, that for those of you who are in New Zealand, if you've got a source of matte gel medium that's not massively expensive, please let me know, because I can't find any. Anyway, Mod Podge works as well. I raided the clearance bin. As you can see, this is a little die cut pack with just some little astrological things in, really. Some flowers, some camping bits, coffee stickers, some very cute little owl stickers, which I thought actually my granddaughters might really enjoy. Again, some little wooden frames, some glitzy little stickers, and a couple of lovely paper pads. Now, I found these actually not in a craft store, but in a $5 store. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what overseas call them. Anyway, $2 stores. These were, I think, $15 each, and there's 24 pages plus some cutouts. And I just thought these had just the most gorgeous paper in. It is one-sided, that's fine by me. I will definitely use, and I thought this was sort of some lovely natural vintagey type papers. I'll just find, yeah, and sadly the little, these are press out bits. Now sadly they've put sort of glossy glitzy bits on some of the flowers, which is not my absolute preference, but I'm sure I'll use them. And some lovely tags and things here. And they're always great when you want something quick, you want a top, just, something just to add on, to give something a bit of life. And this, I think, is made by the same company. Might not be. Again, just some, look at this. Mr. Jem looked at this and went, well, of course you like it. It looks like vintage wallpaper. So there you go. Some lovely bits and pieces in there. So a little bit of a stock up. Don't very often buy brand new stuff actually, but I will occasionally buy a paper pad if I see one that's nice. I thought these were quite nice actually. A little bit of gold. You've got to have a little bit of gold in your life every now and again. And an alphabet sheet, which I thought was quite cool. So there we go, guys. All right. What's coming up? Well, two things are on the agenda coming up. One is I did a video a couple of weeks ago now, and it was a pop-up journal page, and you really seemed to like that. A lot of people loved it, commented, and I've been sort of thinking around different things to go in journals. You know, yeah, we can do pockets, we can do tags, and there's nothing wrong with those things, but sometimes we want something a bit different. And so using that video as kind of a springboard, I'm going to be doing a series on interactive journal pages, or elements to go into your journal that are interactive. And I've done a couple of videos recently actually that sort of fit with that. There was the that one, the pop-out journal page. There was also the one I did recently. In fact, it was that recent. I've still got some on my desk with the interactive pockets. So there's a couple there. But I'm going to be doing a whole series on things to add into your journal, either pages or elements that are a bit more than just nice to look at. So they do something, they move, or they've got something that you can do with them. Does that make sense? Interactive, let's call it, as an overall heading. So that's coming up. And the other really exciting thing, in fact, I'm just going to clear my desk because I do have some stuff to show you. Just one moment. All right, the next exciting thing that is happening next month is Creep on June. Now, for those of you who've never heard of Creep on June, this is a challenge, or is it a challenge? It's a project. It's a challenge, it's a project, I don't know, whatever label you want to give it. It's something that is run by a creator called Tracy Fox. And each June, Tracy produces a printable kit, and it's generally on a bit of a spooky theme. Last year was based on Edgar Allan Poe's work. And I found this challenge for the first time last year and participated. And I had never used a whole printable kit before. And I did the challenge with Tracy last year, partly because I wanted to try a printable kit for the first time. And secondly, because kind of the creepy side of things is my jam. I like that kind of thing. So as I say, first time last year, really enjoyed it. Printable kits, I gotta say, I don't generally use, not a whole kit. I'll use the odd printable element or page, but I don't tend to go for the whole kits. But I loved the Creep on June one last year. This year's has just come out. And so that's what I'm going to be doing next month. Now, Tracy doesn't tend to be very prescriptive in what you're going to do. She gives you the stuff and says, go for it. And she set up this year so that we have a different creator doing a video every day during the month with part of the kit. I don't know what that's going to be like. We will see. But anyway, I haven't printed all of it actually. There's something like 41 pages in the kit. I think if you grab it now before the beginning of June or before the second week in June, you get a discount. Anyway, have a look. I'll put all the links below. Tracy's stuff's really cool. She does do some really nice printables. So as you will see, I have started printing some of this off and playing with it with some ideas. This year's theme is Once Upon a Creep, and it's the sort of grim fairy tales. So we've got lots of little fairy tale creatures and buildings. So just give a quick flick through of some of the pages. Look at this. So we've got these lovely little creatures who are just a little bit spooky when you look. So we've got creatures, and then we've got some pockets, pre-printed pockets and tags. Again, we're sort of very much a fairy tale theme. There we go. So as I say, I've by no means printed all of it. And then we're starting to get some little labels and things as well. And then here there's another little pocket there, more kind of labels and bits and pieces like that. We've got some cool little tombstone coffin lid shapes with little quotes and sayings in them. Again, some more labels. And some pages like this. All right, as I say, there's loads more in the kit. Do go and have a look. It's not massively expensive. I think it was under $10 New Zealand money. But that's what's coming up next month as well. So, Creep on June and interactive journal pages. All right, that's enough for me today. I feel like I've been just talking at you. But it's a bit of a welcome back, and I'll be seeing you really shortly. Probably, hopefully before the end of this week, we'll get an interactive journal page out, and then we'll be hitting the Creep on June stuff, because next Monday is the 1st of June, I do believe. I haven't got a calendar in front of me, but I think that's right. All right, thanks for joining me today, guys. Thank you for sticking with me whilst I was on holiday. And yeah, please come back next week, or later this week even. God, I'm all over the place. All right, for now, ka kite anō. Bye-bye.